Hello?
Gosh,
Oh, hi, Geraldine.
I'm so happy I caught you. I'm very excited for this week's art medicine, but I'm unsure of what this week's theme is.
I am too.
You're unsure of the theme?
Yep.
Do we have pieces?
Yep.
Do they go together?
Nope.
Well, what should my art medicine be about?
Anything you'd like, I guess.
That I can definitely do. I'm on it.
Okay. Thanks, Geraldine. Bye. Hello?
Hey, Josh, it's Cynthia. I'm glad I caught you. Hey, I heard we don't have a theme for this week.
Nope.
But we have pieces, right?
We do, but,
Well, are they funny or serious?
yes.
Right. Laughing in the dark. Well, are they poems or spoken word pieces?
Yes.
New performers or TSS regulars?
Yes.
Josh, this isn't helping.
I'm sorry. We have lots of great performances. It's just that none of them seem to fit to a central theme.
Oh, wait, what? Okay, what if the theme that connects them is that there is no theme that connects them?
You mean the theme is no theme?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that could work, right? And it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I suppose it is. All right, thanks, Cynthia. I'll call Barry right now.
Okay. All right, thanks a lot, Josh. See ya. Bye.
Hello?
Hi, Barry?
Hey, Josh. Any word on a theme yet?
Yes. So, since none of the pieces this week really have a central theme, the theme for this weekend is going to be titled No Theme.
No theme. That sounds more like a grunge band than a spoken word episode.
Oh, I give up.
Wait a second. I have an idea.
Hello, I'm Josh Cohen, and this is a poem about my coronavirus experience and viewpoint. It's called Under Lockdown, April 2020. Before Corona stole my crown, I was still the king of Prince Street, with my bag full of books and medicine, my furrowed brow focused on the hacky drip-drop cough that always lingers in the winter and nags at the back of my throat till spring. Back before my toes still bounced me down the city streets on easy rubber soles. Without imagining, the air had suspended a million glittering droplets that spread like gossip around the town. After a couple of weeks, I'd almost grown used to hiding like this in my apartment in a gentle, sheepish fog, washing my hands every hour or so and singing happy birthday, twice like I'm supposed to. Keeping time as I turn into Howard Hughes, in my ratty, coffee-stained robe, wandering from room to room like I can't find my equilibrium. But I'm still holding firm, still staring out the window at the Amish family toiling away like nothing's changed, on their hands and knees in a dug-up strip of farmland across the street. You can see their wary Holsteins pent up, chewing cud, with an expression that says that they honestly couldn't care less. It says, really, how could anyone not have seen this was coming?
My Wife is Worried, a poem written by my wife. My wife is worried. I can feel it in the way she lets the coffee sit in the coffee pot. Inky black and dusky. Single serve. If we had a clock that ticked to talk at us, it would tell me how long she can't sit still. It would talk to me about the timing of the twitching of her fingers as she counts her next paycheck before it gets here. My wife is worried about fire. She has to check that the oven is off every night. I check it too, but that doesn't stop the sudden shift of covers and the bare feet on soft ground, secreting down the stairs. To know, to see, that the oven is cold and dead, and has been for hours. It's there in the dark that she feels the reality. The fire is not happening, and the oven is not going to kill us. But the dangerous thing is what keeps tick, tick, ticking inside her head. My wife is worried. She's worried that the dog doesn't have any friends. We love him, and he loves us. Sure, she says, but what will happen to his social development without peers? My wife is worried. If she stops buying art supplies, she will stop being an artist. My wife is worried about sugar, both having too much and scarcity. She's worried that pipes will burst and that neighbors will judge our movie choices. She's worried about being seen, about pushing or being pushed. My wife is worried about losing fights, but she hates winning them more. Cancer, breathing, bleeding, assuming, forgetting, misleading, losing keys or losing love notes, losing limbs, losing life, losing our Hulu password, and losing. She worries that killing spiders is destroying spiders' souls.
Hey, no, honey.
What?
That last one about spiders? That's yours.
I suppose it is.
Crazy fucking night. I ended up at Tedeschi's after staying up all night. Must have been around 4 a.m. There were these two guys outside playing chess. One young black guy, one old white guy, and the board was set on a stack of storage crates or something. I guess the Tedeschi's manager let them borrow them for the game. Anyway, as I was leaving with my coffee, I decided to go over and check out the game. And that's when I realized that the old white guy wasn't a guy at all. It was actually Eleanor Roosevelt. She had just cut her hair and was wearing overalls, and her face and hands were all covered with soot or grime or something. The black guy nodded to me, and Eleanor Roosevelt was like, "Sup? Playing chess?" I asked, like an idiot. "Yup," said Eleanor Roosevelt. I watched them play for a while. The black guy was concentrating real hard and would occasionally stand up, lean down with hands on knees, look at the board for a while, and then sit back down. Eleanor Roosevelt didn't move a muscle, but her eyes were darting all over the place like she was nervous or something. After a while, this big white guy, a bouncer at this bar nearby, thick Boston accent, and his name's Sully, which is perfect. He shows up and sneaks up behind Eleanor Roosevelt and puts his hands over her eyes with his big grin on his face. Guess who? He's in the middle of saying, when Eleanor Roosevelt fucking jumps up, whirls around, pulls a knife out of her pocket, and stabs him in the stomach. He's like, Jesus Christ, Eleanor Roosevelt, what the fuck? Eleanor Roosevelt feels super bad about it. Like, fuck, Sully, don't sneak up on me like that. Fuck, screams Eleanor Roosevelt. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ, screams Sully. Meanwhile, I guess the Tedeschi's manager calls 911 because then an ambulance and some cops show up. Eleanor Roosevelt makes a run for it, and the cops go after her a while. while the medics load Sully into the ambulance and take him to the hospital. Jesus, I say to the black guy, I think he'll be okay. The black guy's still pondering his next move. He says, Sully, yeah, happens every week. What about Eleanor Roosevelt, I ask. She'll manage. Want to finish her game for her? Sure. Within 5 moves, he had me in checkmate. No offense, man, the black guy says, but Eleanor Roosevelt had a pretty good thing going, and you fucked it all up. I tried laughing it off, but then he just stared at me till I left. I never did get his name. After the last bomb dropped, I waited a few days, unsure whether it was safe to go out. When I finally did, I found myself completely alone in a smoldering post-apocalyptic doomscape. So I went to Tedeschi's. No one was running the store, and most of the merchandise was gone. But I found a Yoo-hoo in the back and dropped a couple dollars in one of the open cash registers. And when I went outside, I noticed that the chess set from years ago was still up on the sidewalk. The young black man sat there by himself, staring at the board. There were no pieces. I went over, and the young black man nodded to me. What happened to Eleanor Roosevelt? I asked. She died in 1962, the young black man said. I shook my head and squinted up at the sun. Sully? I asked. Gone, he said. They're all gone. Can I sit? I asked. Sure, the young black man answered with a shrug. We sat awkwardly for a while. What happened to the pieces? I asked. Passers-by kept using them to make their points, the young black man answered. They'd grab a white piece and a black piece and put on their show, and then they'd leave without giving them back. I think they thought they were being sneaky, like they were getting away with it. I murmured, nothing in particular. The thing is, he continued, they all had something important to say, just in the end. I'm the one here with an empty board, you know. I looked at the young black man where once had been wrinkles of concentration were now etched lines of sadness and frustration. I looked around at the fires and rubble. Talk about a stalemate, I joked, gesturing to our surroundings. The young black man stared at me. I told him my name. What's yours? I said. He answered me. I put my hand on his, and we sat there for a long time while I drank my yoo-hoo.
Oh, he won't come out of his room. He says he's mortified. Parzival, I says. We called him Parzival after my father, his grandfather. His friends call him Parsi, which sounds more like something an Australian postman might deliver. Anyway, I said, Parzival, there is nothing to be mortified about. You haven't eaten your lunch and your fried egg is starting to curl up in the bread. Lassie will be getting it if you don't watch out. You need to keep your strength up. Mortification is exhausting, as I well know. No, mother. He sounded quite upset. No, mother. I will never eat again. Go away from the door and let me be. His father was always stubborn. but not like that. He never went off his food. The couple forgave you, says I. They are not mortified, and I'm sure they don't want you to be mortified. All right, your first mistake was getting drunk. You shouldn't have got drunk. I had a funny feeling when you got on that rugby bus. I said to your father, I said, they look like a right wild bunch of rugby players. Hope they don't get our Parsifal drunk, or worse. I've heard the stories. Your second mistake was going to bed in that tavern without a stitch on. It's just a pity that the tavern didn't have an ensuite bathroom. You are not used to walking down long hallways to urinate. Never have done. You've always had an ensuite. And those room doors are all the same, just the numbers are different. It was dark, you said. I don't know how you got in between those two without waking them up. You got that from me. My Grace, I took dance lessons. I get compliments for my dancing. Why didn't that old woman wake you up and tell you that you were in the wrong bed? Was she afraid she'd wake up her husband? When she said that your arm flung across her neck, did she not think to wake you up? No wonder her pupils were dilated. She could hardly breathe, or hardly believe her luck. I didn't say that to him. It was just as well they both had their jammies on. There's that, at least. Can't imagine your fright when you woke up to her wide eyes staring at you and then swiveled your head around to see the gray-haired fella right at your back. Son, remember that you all laughed when it was all over at the very end. They believed you made a genuine mistake. How could they not? Why would a fit young rugby player like you want to get in bed between those oldies? Can't believe they didn't offer you something to cover your nakedness back to your room. And her insistence that you make her coffee before you left. You might have caught your death of cold. Come on out now, son. The bus just pulled in to take you to your next game, and the boys are calling for you. I didn't know you were so popular. My sister was very popular with rugby players.
My wife is worried. A poem written by my wife. My wife.